Thank you. Just a couple of quick questions. I guess to Mr. I'm going to blow it and I can't see it, Mr. McChinsky. You made a series of allegations about Moody's misconduct, and I believe you're the one that made those allegations in a letter to the SEC. What was the basis of your allegations? How did you, I mean, you saw things that were going on, and then you thought it was your responsibility to report to SEC what you saw going wrong. So what did you see wrong at what point, and when did you notify the SEC?
Sir, I made my first report was to the compliance group.
I'm sorry?
My first report was to the compliance group. I put into a...
In writing or
in
just
writing,
a
in
notification?
Writing.
Okay.
It was a 14-page memorandum.
And did they respond to you?
They, as far as I know, they did. They hired Kramer Levin and also suspended me.
They what?
They suspended me.
The company suspended you?
Yes, sir.
For whistleblowing or for notifying?
That is my belief, yes.
Okay. But did you, you never got a written response from SEC to this date?
Sir, after I was suspended, I reached out to them of these violations.
So
I spoke to them last week, and we're planning on meeting so I can discuss further.
Activities. And you talked to compliance, and you also wrote to compliance both?
I wrote to compliance.
I'm sorry?
I wrote to compliance.
You wrote, okay.
Yes.
And you never had gotten a response?
As we've discussed in previous, everything was mostly done by phone call. So I received a phone call.
They called you in response to your letter?
They called me and they said they're bringing in Kramer Levin, and somebody from Kramer Levin will be in contact with me.
And
all communications from them were verbal. Nothing.
So how did Moody's find out about what took place?
I handed Michael Caniff the memo that I wrote.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Mr. McCleskey, you also reported wrongdoing. Did you report that to the SEC?
Sir, I sent a letter after my departure to the SEC. It is probably going too far.
I'm sorry, for some reason I couldn't hear you. You sent a letter.
I sent a letter to the SEC after my departure.
After your departure?
Yes, sir. And I don't think I would characterize it as necessarily whistleblowing with respect to wrongdoing. I wanted to flag an issue to them to make sure that they were aware of it when they were preparing to conduct their examinations.
Was your departure voluntary? Or?
No, sir.
So they terminated you. Did they cite the cause for which you were terminated?
No, sir. All they did was they said that senior management had lost confidence in me.
Had you had any contact with SEC or any other individuals in reporting activities before the letter that you sent after you departed and were dismissed?
I did not have any contact with the SEC prior to my departure.
Or anyone else who you reported whatever activities you thought should have their attention, should have attention of a regulatory body?
No, sir. I don't think my departure was directly related to any whistleblowing.
Okay. And did you get a response to your comments that you made for attention to SEC after you were terminated and departed?
They sent me an email confirming receipt and said that they were considering what to do about it.
Okay. Do you feel Mr. Canner, why should the federal government continue to grant Moody's and other big credit rating agencies a protected oligopoly by requiring financial institutions to rely only on your ratings?
Moody's favors the reduction or elimination of the use of ratings and regulation, so we do not favor it.
So you feel that others could be involved in the process?
Yes?
Should you think Congress should regulate that process?
Well, there is currently a draft bill been prepared in Congress to remove the use of ratings in many government legislation and regulations.
How do you think that should be structured? I mean, you don't have to comment on the bill that's before us, but what would be a fair way to have, say, some competitiveness in credit rating, but also keep a high standard of rating?
Right. Well, I think in addition to reducing the regulatory reliance on ratings, the competition, the field of competition in the market could be improved by enhancing the financial disclosures required by issuers of structured finance securities. At present, given the limited disclosure requirements in that market, only rating agencies that have been asked to rate those securities have full access to all the information that might be needed to evaluate the risks of those securities. And we recommend that the SEC require more extensive financial disclosures, much as is required of corporations in America when they issue debt into the capital markets. And that way, multiple rating agencies, not just the rating agencies asked to rate the debt, and multiple analysts from different types of firms can do their own analysis and choose to publish that analysis if they wish to monetize their conclusions or just provide for some other reason that information to the broader marketplace.
Gentleman's time has expired.